Sometimes the predator becomes prey, and that's exactly what is happening here, as Fog Entertainment are preying on the characters as we rank them from worst to best. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. Prey was a decent movie. Check out the review, but this is time to rank the characters. And the only problem I've got is there wasn't really many characters, and the characters that we did have weren't very good. They weren't very fleshed out. That's not me being overly negative. That's just me telling the truth. So we have an 8-person list here. Now we did decide to group the groups together, if that makes sense, because let's say the French, for example, there was like maybe 60 people in their clan, and we don't have 60 names. None of them really stood out, apart from really Raphael, and he was probably the most important character because of the gun. So we've ranked them together, and we've also ranked the tribe together, other than a couple of the main members, because let's be honest, they kind of just were there to make up the numbers and die, so that's kind of why we've done that.
That's why we've done that, guys. You know what? Maybe if they actually decided to develop the French and the Native Americans a wee bit more, we could have included more, but that's not our problem.
Yeah, you look at the original Predator, everyone in Arnold's group, you know, they stood out. It was like I remember at the time, they were like, that's like a who's list of, action stars. This was like a who's list of absolute nobodies. So it is what it is, but we ain't going to judge them, even though we kind of just did. But let's get into it. So, in last place, 8th place, we've got Aruka. She is the mother of Naru and Tabi. Honestly, man, she doesn't really do much. We see her at the beginning. She's kind of just there. Not going to lie. That's why she's last. I don't really feel any need to really go deep into the character.
You are a woman. You do not fight. You cook. You wash dishes. So, yeah. That's pretty much her entire input.
Yep, that is her input. Coming at number 7, we have Paka. Now, Paka was probably, outside of Naru and Tabi, he probably had the most dialogue from the tribe. But he died, and I mean, he talked a good game, but in the end, you know, he kind of got taken out by a lion that he claimed he could easily kill. So, I mean, he was an okay character, I guess, but he didn't last long, and that's why he's in 7th place.
7th place, here. At least you're not last, my friend. Could have been worse.
I mean, he had a bit of individuality about him, so we'll give him that.
There's that.
Coming in 6th, we've got the French. Now, we've grouped the French together, other than just one member. And honestly, I felt like the French were a waste of time in this movie. It just felt like they needed to have, you know, antagonistic, bad white guys. So they just brought the French in. And it also felt like, here, we need to show what the Predator can do. And the Predator's pretty much already killed anybody it can. The only 2 people left are important characters, and they're not ready to die yet. So we need the Predator to wipe out a bunch of people. Let's just insert these French guys into the movie.
I mean, I guess you could say, well, why didn't they just have like a rival tribe attack them? But you know what? I'm glad they went with white guys.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't really care. The French sucked.
No, because in this time period, I mean, you could have got like French against like the British, but it makes sense to have like, you know, different races in there, Native Americans defending their shit. I don't have a problem with the French. I've got a problem with how they utilised the French.
What was their point? What was their purpose? What were they even doing there? Did someone explain that to me? Did I miss that?
What were they doing there?
Nah, it just seemed like they turned up and they were just there.
Sure, that's just how it went down.
They were just like shoehorned into it.
That's just how it went down back in the day.
Anyway,
I'd argue the Predator was more shoehorned into Native America than the French were, like, but...
Anyway, the French, coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, we've got the Native Americans. I mean, yeah, they walked about half naked and they had their wee bows and arrows, but honestly, they didn't really do much, they didn't really say much. I mean, I think they put up a much better fight against the Predator than the French, but I mean, in terms of characters, didn't offer much.
But they're like, the main characters of the movie are the Native Americans. I get it, the main characters aren't included in the Native Americans.
Yeah, but these were like background characters, weren't they? They were just there.
Yeah.
Literally there to make up the numbers.
Aye, and they've made up the numbers. They're part of the numbers.
Right, coming in number 4, we're into the top half now. We've got the Predator. I mean, the Predator could have been higher, but honestly, I thought it was a weak-looking Predator. To me, I think with CGI and how far we've come, although I would technically argue a lot of movies don't look good these days, but with how far we've come and advanced in technology, this should have been the best-looking Predator we've seen.
Yep.
And for me, it wasn't.
I think it was a weak Predator. You know, the Predator in the first one, right? Not so much the second one. but it relies on stealth. I feel like in this one, it was getting battered in pretty much every fight it took on, but it just somehow won.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, see, in the first one, you got the feeling that, like, oh, this thing's, like, invincible, but you hadn't seen it get hurt until, like, Arnie hurt it. But in this one, it's like, in its first fucking scene with, like, the snake and then, like, the wolf, it's like, it was getting hurt. Especially with the wolf. The snake, alright, maybe not.
the bear
Aye, the bear, like, fucking annihilated
was
it.
going 50-50 with it. Tabby kicked its ass for a while. You know, it just, I don't know, Predator didn't really like it. Coming in third place with Raphael. I felt like this guy had a little bit of a personality. I mean, he lost his leg. He almost survived, but then the Predator stepped on him, unfortunately. But he did make a trade with Naru. He gave her the gun. I'll show you how to use this if you make sure I don't die. And the gun that he did give her had importance, so I guess that makes him an important character. So
We referenced the Predator 2. Got a cheap pop out of me, but if that's the reason why your character's is so high up the list, what's that say about the guys beneath you?
yeah. Coming in number 2, we have Tabi, the brother of Naru. He was like the warrior of the tribe. You know, he was the main man. He had all the awards. He would go out, he would hunt, he would kill the lions, and he was the main guy really. But unfortunately, he took on the Predator. Didn't really work out for him. You know, he had a couple of good lines. He felt like the protective big brother, but then he just had enough of Naru's shit when she was complaining about how we never killed the lion, you did. And then he was basically like, yeah, you know what, fuck it, you're right, I did. It was me all along. He did use the whole, if it bleeds, we can kill it line, which, I mean, honestly, I think once you hear Arnold say it, you don't really want anyone stealing it from him.
And this guy stole it and it was shite.
Yeah, the delivery wasn't great.
No, delivery was not good. Like a postman with no legs.
He's not going to get very far.
Nope, and he didn't.
But I mean, I don't think he was a bad character. I didn't mind him.
He was alright.
I mean, he's
passable. He was better.
I mean, he's in second place. Yes, hopefully
Hopefully he's alright.
Hopefully he's decent. And coming in first place, we'll put Naru. I mean, I guess we'll include the dog in there as well, because why not? The dog was with her for the entire movie. I mean, I don't think she was unlikable apart from the time where she was bitching in the tent. You know, she just watched a lot of her tribe members die.
She was more bothered about what she did.
Yeah, or what she didn't do.
No, well, yeah.
And then, you know, she was lucky to be alive, saved by her brother, and, you know, she kind of was acting, you know, a little bit bitchy about that and a bit pathetic, in my opinion. But I guess everybody's allowed their one bad scene or whatever, their one moment of madness. I mean, I think she was a likeable enough character, but again, in terms of her personality, didn't really have anything, although she was the main character, did have the most screen time. Therefore, I mean, I guess if you were going to relate to anybody and if you were going to get attached to anybody, it would be her. But I mean, it's not really a knock. I just don't think this. Maybe it's harder to relate to Native Americans because we're not Native Americans. I don't know if that's the case, or maybe when they were making this movie, they just didn't really feel like character development was a big deal. I'm going to go with the latter. I felt they just thought, here, we don't really care about having larger-than-life characters or characters that ooze personality, or we don't really care about great dialogue. We care more about the visuals. We care more about the fight scenes. I think that's what they went for, because let's be honest, that's what you get now with the majority of movies. They do believe that having a great fight scene is better than having good characters and good dialogue, so that was probably the direction. I mean, she was okay. I'm not going to hate on her. She's number 1 on our list, but I mean, let's be honest. She doesn't compare to anybody in Predator 1.
No one. I mean, I'd even say the woman in Predator 1 didn't say a word. Probably better than her, but the reality is this movie just focused more on the Predator killing people and animals. Like, it focused more on the time period than it did on the characters. That is for certain.
That is for certain, guys. So there you go. That's our characters ranked there. You can let us know if you agree or whether you disagree. But honestly, man, I don't think there's much in it. I mean, I'm not going to say that I think you could swap first with last, because I don't agree with that at all. I think I much prefer Naru over Aruka. But what I would say is, I mean, I'd have no complaints if you wanted to mix. If you don't think Naru's the best character, then that's fine. If you don't think Aruka's the worst character, that's fine. I don't think there was much in it, you know. To me, the movie was more based on the visuals and the fight scenes and the scenery and stuff like that. rather than characters and individuality, because there really wasn't much individuality at all. But the movie was alright, you know, we give it a 5 out of 10. Go check out the review, guys. We'll catch you later on for ranking the deaths. That's it. Till next time. Peace.